economic liberty are inextricable. James Padilioni is the Student of the Year from Students for Liberty this year at the International Students for Liberty Conference. Please help me welcome, put your hands together, stand up for the enthusiasm that's about to pour out of this gentleman, James Padilioni Jr.
Yeah, James! Yeah! Woo! Mike Jack. Stand up. Yeah, James! Woo! Woo!
Got some technical difficulties right now. Are you ready? Philadelphia!
Woo!
Are you living free today?
Woo!
I can't hear you. Are you living free today?
Yeah, James!
This crowd is amazing, and I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out on such a beautiful day for Philly Liberty.
It's funny because it's not.
And I also want to thank all the organizers. Michael Salvi's done a ton of work to get this together. Rob Pepe and Jim Babb putting together the breakfast this morning, and everyone else who's involved. Thank you for coming out. All the other speakers, performers. I hear Dr. Paul's going to be here soon, so I won't speak too long. So again, I'm deeply honored to be here today, and I'm sure many of you are wondering, well, you just heard a little bit of who I am, but who am I? Why am I speaking today? So, again, my name is James Padilioni. I am a student liberty activist.
Woo!
That's right, I'm a student liberty activist. I want to hear some noise for that. It wasn't included in the bio. I'm going to shout it out right now. Matt Hissey is the president of Westchester Youth for Paul, the 6th largest Youth for Paul chapter in the United States right now.
We're sick.
Oh, they turned me off. Can you hear me? All right. I am a campus coordinator with Students for Liberty.
Woo!
And we are a nonprofit organization run by students, for students. And our motto, a free academy and a free society, captures our vision for the future and our motivation. We have seen tremendous growth in our network over the last 5 years of existence. And what started with just a handful of students is now a network of well over 750 pro-liberty college student groups on 4 continents, and we're just getting started.
Woo!
And now other groups, such as Young Americans for Liberty, we work with them a lot. They've seen the same kind of explosive growth in their numbers as literally tens of thousands of college students are embracing the freedom message today. And so what is this freedom message? It's the message of free minds, free people, free markets, sound money. It's liberty.
Woo!
My generation is starting to realize that our nearly $16 trillion debt is robbing us of our future. It's robbing us of our opportunities that previous generations had when they were coming up in this country. My generation is tired of coming of age in a state of unending, destructive, and senseless war.
Yes!
Thanks to the free exchange of information and the instantaneous global connection that's provided by the internet and social media, my generation is beginning to question the premises that form the foundation of everything that we've been taught to believe about how to view the world. And you know what we're discovering? The undistorted truth that the empire is out of money, the emperor has no clothes.
Yes!
Now, college students are not the only ones who are starting to ask questions about what exactly is happening in our country and all of the economic and social unrest. Many people of all ages are beginning to fundamentally rethink who they are as an individual and who we are as a civil society, and who we as individuals and civil society, how we should relate to our government. Civil society and government are not the same thing.
No.
These questions that people are wondering: should governments be limited?
Yes! Yes!
Are there any areas of an individual's life that should be left alone by the state? Can we be trusted to make decisions for our own lives?
Yes!
And own our own destinies?
Yes!
Look around you. Look at all the people here today, even in this rain. Many of you have asked yourself those questions and you found that the answer is liberty. And what you're seeing happen here and all across the country and even the world today is truly a revolution. It is a revolution of ideas.
Yes.
And that is the only kind of revolution that matters. Ideas matter, and ideas have changed the world, and they can change the world again. What we're actually suffering from today is a consequence of bad ideas and false ideas. The false idea that central planners can direct and order a spontaneous free market. Boo to that. The false idea that government is the solution to our problems and that government sustains civil society. Boo. The false idea that government has a claim to the fruits of our labor. Or this false idea that in order to be safe, we must give up our liberty in exchange. America today is in desperate need of new ideas, and we have those ideas.
Yeah!
We are the revolution of ideas. And once again, liberty is an idea whose time has come. And I don't know about you, but I'm not giving up on it anymore. The time is for liberty now, and we will not have another chance to do this again 10 years, 20 years down the road. Liberty's come now. The time for liberty has come now. Now, as a historian, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that we're standing on the very ground where some other revolutionaries that you might have heard of stood and did their first work on the American Revolution. In this very building behind me, Independence Hall, 236 years ago, 56 men signed a document that declared to all the world that all men are created equal, and that all men and women have a right to their life, their liberty, and to the pursuit of their own happiness. Now, from the beginning of the American Revolution all the way down through America's history and to today, those revolutionary ideas have struggled to actually exist in reality for everyone and in every way possible. And while freedom has been expanded in many meaningful ways for many people in our history, we know, well, one fact that we know we still have some freedom is that I can stand here and call out the government today, and it's still legal, I think.
Woo! Yeah, it is.
For now. But there are many cases in which liberty has been lost, and it continues to be lost. This government parades debt as if it is real wealth. This government now wages war, and it doesn't even bother to take the issue to Congress, which, if they were just to approve an authorization of arms, that's not really good either. But now they don't even bother with that. The executive just sends the troops without any say from anyone else. This government now claims the right to assassinate even its own citizens. And it can indefinitely detain us, depriving us of our rights to a trial by jury and due process. This government restricts our free movement by corralling us into TSA lines and groping us and shooting us with radiation in the name of safety. This government has colluded with Wall Street against the people, bailing out their cronies and using the Federal Reserve System to devalue the US dollar and enable a culture of perpetual spending. And the Fed, that's right, and the Fed, 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 and the Fed. This government arrests and imprisons thousands of people each year for non-violent crimes. And this government claims ownership over your body and your health. And it's trying to force us to buy insurance, to regulate what we put inside of our bodies, whether it's trans fat or sugar or the smoke of the cannabis plant or raw milk from your local Amish farm. It doesn't matter what it is. Government has claimed the right to regulate your body and your health. This government claims powers that were never delegated to it in the Constitution. And it's gutted the Bill of Rights that was meant to keep that government away from our personal space. Now, when you look through history, and not just American history, but human history, the pattern of liberty and power is a constant struggle, and it requires the population to be ever vigilant, to always be watching.
Yes.
Quis custodiet ipsos custode.
Yes.
Who watches the watchers? We watch the watchers.
Yes. Woo!
Big Brother might be watching us, but we're watching Big Brother as well.
Yeah.
Now, Thomas Jefferson, who did much great work for liberty in this building behind us, he said it best when he said that the natural progress of things is for liberty to yield and government to gain ground. And if we're not constantly promoting the value and benefit of freedom, we stand to lose it. I want to close with one story from a famous Philadelphian who helped to usher in the first American Revolution. In 1787, 4 years after King George III officially acknowledged that the 13 colonies were actually free and independent states, 11 years after he signed the Declaration of Independence, Philadelphia's own Dr. Benjamin Rush wrote an open letter in a newspaper here in Philadelphia describing the American Revolution. And he said, "There is nothing more common than to confound the terms of the American Revolution with those of the late American War. The American War is over, but this is far from being the case with the American Revolution. On the contrary, nothing but the first great act of that great drama is closed."
Yes.
The American Revolution started right here, way back when. And it continues right now to the present day.
Yes.
And it's the revolution of ideas. When I got up here, I asked you if you were living free. And I heard a lot of people say no. Well, if your answer was no, then what are you going to do about it? I'm going to make a suggestion for you. If you're on the fence, in closing. Join our revolution.